The showroom sparkled with luxury sleek cars, spotless floors, and the scent of polished leather. Every customer looked like they belonged except for Ethan, a hard-working farmer dressed in dusty boots and a faded jacket. As he stepped inside, heads turned. Salesman whispered, their eyes scanning his worn-out clothes. It was clear they didn't think he belonged here. Ethan didn't care. He had come for a reason. His gaze locked onto a rare, limited-edition car in the center of the showroom. Before he could take another step, a suited man smirked and stepped forward. Before Ethan could admire the car, Mr. Carter, the dealership's senior salesman, stepped in front of him. His suit was crisp, his watch expensive, and his expression full of doubt. "Can I help you?" he asked, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Ethan nodded. "Yeah, I want to check out that car." Mr. Carter chuckled, glancing at Ethan's dusty boots. "That's a limited edition, way out of budget for, well, someone like you." The other salesman laughed. Ethan clenched his jaw but stayed calm. "I didn't ask about the price," he replied. "I just want to see it." Mr. Carter smirked. "Sorry, but we don't allow casual browsers. This car is for serious buyers." Ethan barely had time to react before Mr. Carter scoffed. "Look, kid, I don't have time for this. People like you don't just walk in and buy cars like this." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "People like me?" Mr. Carter smirked. "Yeah, no offense, but this isn't some cheap lot where you can kick tires and dream. Maybe try the used section in the back." The other employees chuckled, shaking their heads. Ethan remained calm but firm. "I'll decide what I can or can't afford." Mr. Carter folded his arms. "Sure you will. But I don't waste time on window shoppers." Ethan exhaled, staring at him. He could have left. But something about the salesman's attitude made him stay. "All right then," Ethan said, stepping forward. "Let's see how this plays out." Ethan smirked, pulling out his phone. "All right, let's make this interesting." Mr. Carter sighed. "Look, kid, I don't have all day." Ignoring him, Ethan tapped a few times on his screen. Within seconds, a notification chimed. Mr. Carter's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, then froze. His face turned pale. The other employees noticed. "Boss, everything okay?" One of them asked. Mr. Carter swallowed hard. I don't understand." He looked up at Ethan, suddenly nervous. Ethan grinned. "Check the dealership account." Mr. Carter's hands shook as he refreshed the screen. His jaw dropped. This isn't possible." Ethan stepped forward. "Believe it." The room fell silent. Every eye was on the young man who had just changed everything. Jason crossed his arms, his confidence unshaken. "You're bluffing," he said with a smirk. Ethan chuckled. "Am I?" He turned his phone around, showing the screen. Jason's expression changed in an instant. The employees leaned in, curious. "What's going on?" one whispered. Jason's face lost its color. His fingers twitched as he snatched his own phone and frantically refreshed the page. "No way," he muttered under his breath. His hands shook. Ethan took a step closer. "Believe me now?" Jason swallowed hard. The employees exchanged glances, waiting for him to speak. This isn't possible," Jason stammered. Ethan shrugged. "Well, it just happened." The room was completely silent. No one dared to speak. Then one employee whispered, Who is he?" No one had an answer. But they all knew everything had changed. Liam took a deep breath, his hands tightening into fists. "You really think you can lie your way out of this?" he asked. Noah smirked, but there was nervousness behind his eyes. "I don't know what you're talking about," he replied coolly. Liam held up a folder. "This says otherwise." Noah's smirk faded. The employees leaned forward, watching closely. Liam flipped the folder open, revealing pages of proof. "These documents show everything. Every single lie." Noah's face paled. "Where did you get that?" he asked, his voice shaking. Liam took a step forward. "That doesn't matter. What matters is everyone knows now." A murmur spread through the crowd. Noah swallowed hard. His confidence was gone. Liam held his gaze. So, are you going to admit it, or should I keep going? The silence was deafening. Noah knew there was no way out now. Emma's heart pounded as she stared at the screen. The truth was right there, impossible to ignore. You need to see this, she whispered, turning the laptop toward Oliver. Oliver leaned in, his brows furrowing. As he read, his expression darkened. This can't be real, he muttered. Emma swallowed hard. It is. And it changes everything. A heavy silence filled the room. The air felt thick, almost suffocating. Oliver's hands clenched into fists. They lied to us. All this time. Emma nodded. And now we know. Oliver exhaled sharply, his mind racing. What do we do? Emma met his gaze, determination in her eyes. We expose them. Oliver hesitated, then nodded. No more secrets. The weight of their discovery settled between them. Everything they thought they knew was a lie. And now they had to decide, stay silent or reveal the truth?